The day of reckoning has finally arrived. It is the day that staffers at CNN have been patiently waiting for. It's the day that has been rumored to happen since last spring. It is the day that was supposed to happen right after the election. But I guess CNN President Mark Thompson wanted to give his woke welfare collectors one last Christmas before he fired them. Headline at CNN. CNN announces layoffs as it revamps its schedule and digital strategy. What this headline should read is CNN removes dead weight in final desperate attempt to prevent the Titanic from sinking. When I heard about the layoffs at CNN last night, it wasn't all that surprising. Hell, I have been telling you guys that these layoffs were coming for months now. The only surprising thing about it is that it took this long. The problem here with CNN, it is the same problem they had under Chris Licht, the same problem they had under Jeff Zucker. Seems like every year, CNN is letting go of hundreds of people. When Chris Licht took over CNN several years ago, he promised the same things that Mark Thompson is promising. We are shifting directions. We are going to be neutral. CNN is going to be the place for hard news. Ooh, emphasis on the hard. It is going to be so exciting. These changes will be huge. Check out the new and improved Cemetery News Network. The promises are always the same, and so are the results. I have been telling you guys for years, the only way for CNN to survive is to completely eradicate the woke fungus. And when I say completely eradicate, I'm not talking about firing 200 people. I'm not talking about Chris Licht firing the donut diva Brian Stelter. Hell, the only thing that accomplished was crashing the stock price at Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not talking about firing Donnie and his lemons. Those were definitely steps in the right direction, but it wasn't enough. You have to eradicate the fungus from top to bottom, from producers to on-air talent, from janitors to interns. Everyone has got to go. You got to treat CNN like a consistently losing franchise in the NFL or the NBA. When Sean Payton came to New Orleans in 2006, one of the first things that he did was evaluate everyone in the organization. For decades, the Saints were huge, embarrassing failures. This was a franchise that was steeped in a culture of losing. Sean Payton got rid of anyone who did not share his vision because Sean Payton knew that even keeping one person with a loser mentality, that had the possibility to poison the rest of the organization. It's the exact same thing with CNN. Firing Brian Stelter, firing Don Lemon, Chris Licht firing a bunch of aging fossils that no one's ever heard of, that was not enough. Clearly, it wasn't enough because here we are 2 years later and CNN is going through another round of layoffs. And their ratings are significantly worse than they were before. Mark Thompson's been running CNN since October of 2023. Now, just to be clear, Mark Thompson, he's forgotten more about the media than I will ever know. He is more than qualified to clean up this flaming ass fire. But what I don't understand is why he doesn't seem to be willing to go all the way. What I don't understand, why Mark Thompson seems to be making the exact same mistakes that Chris Licht made. He's doing the exact same thing and expecting different results, when all he had to do was call Uncle KC, and I could have told him the end result. Huge, embarrassing failure. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. I know a lot of you guys wanted me to cover the ratings for the barely anticipated debut of Unrivaled. We talked about that ongoing disaster for about 10 minutes this morning on the second channel. Link to the second channel is in the description below. So if you haven't already, head over to the second channel and subscribe. CNN announced this morning that they are letting go of 6% of their workforce, which equates to about 200 people. Initially, I was going to wait to talk about this because I wanted to see if CNN would announce the firing of their unknown on-air talent. If they were truly committed to eradicating the woke fungus, they would clear their primetime lineup and start over. They would get rid of Caitlin Collins, Katie Woo, Katie Woo. They would get rid of the Roo and give someone an opportunity in prime time that actually has the ability to draw ratings. Instead, though, it looks like the layoffs are only affecting people working behind the scenes. CNN is keeping the unknown. CNN is keeping the people responsible for striking the match to this flaming ass fire. But that's okay. That's okay. Because Mark Thompson has a brilliant plan. Mark Thompson came up with a master strategy to create new stars. Instead of letting go of these untalented unknowns, I'm going to shuffle them around. Wolf Blitzer, woof, woof, woof. The aging process has Wolf looking like a raisin. He needs his naps in the afternoon, so I am moving him to morning television. That way, grandmothers across America can start their mornings with a face that reminds them that life does not last forever. The Situation Room with Wolf is moving to early mornings, and Mark Thompson, he's given Wolf a co-host. Wolf will be sharing the stage with someone named Pamela Brown. Who? Pampers Brown? Who in the hell is that? At least when Don Lemon was demoted to morning television, he was bringing mainstream recognition. When people hear the name Pampers Brown, they automatically think of the dirty diaper in the trash, which is exactly where their ratings will be. In other exciting news, Casey Hunt will be moving to afternoons. Well, Casey, where is she moving from? I have no idea. I've never heard of Casey Hunt either. Maybe she is moving from the cable news orphanage to the cable news cemetery. If she aspires to be a star in cable news, she's damn sure working at the wrong network. Now, to his credit, Mark Thompson knew he would need some fresh faces in his daily lineup. With the $70 million investment that CNN just received from Warner Brothers Discovery, you would think Mark Thompson would allocate some of those funds by acquiring stars. I mean, ESPN has the same problem as CNN. They haven't created a new star in decades. But to their credit, ESPN recognized the problem and they made the decision to acquire stars like Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharpe. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay! What does Mark Thompson do with this financial windfall? He hires some doofus named Raphael Solomon, Rod Simmons. Who cares? It doesn't matter what his name is. No one knows his name now, and they damn sure won't know it next year when he is filing for unemployment. CNN also used some of the money to promote Audie Cornish, from a podcast that no one listened to a mid-afternoon dump that no one will watch. Casey, who in the hell is Audie Cornish? His grandmother asked me the same question. I tried to look him up on Google, but it said, name not found. Obviously, these people won't draw flies to a fresh turd, but as it turns out, Mark Thompson, he's not worried about television ratings. Matter of fact, Mark Thompson's not worried about linear television, period. According to CNN, Warner Brothers Discovery invested $70 million because they believe in Mark Thompson's master plan. CNN will be focusing less on linear television, and they will be launching a brand new streaming service. Wait a minute. I've seen this movie before. This idea is not original. This idea was stolen from Chris the Bongo Licker. 3 or 4 years ago, right as he was taking over CNN, Chris Licht was given the task of launching CNN Plus. He even hired big stars, hoping they would convince people to pay monthly for this garbage. Big stars like Rex Chapman, Jamel Hill, Chris Wallace. When CNN released their lineup and asked people to pay for access to this elite talent, they received the following response. Who, and who? CNN Plus was able to survive for 3 weeks. They literally launched and shut down. Their existence was so short, Jamel Hill, she didn't even have the time to debut. And it's not like Smelly Jameli's schedule is packed with work. Check out her schedule for today. Tweet, borrow neighbor's water for bath, beg for employment. That's it. That's all Smelly Jameli has to do. And CNN Plus shut down so quickly, she was not even given the opportunity to premiere on the service. Think about the insanity of this idea. You can't get people to watch your network when it's free. How in the hell are you going to convince people to pay for CNN? People in airports are begging the pilot to change the channel. And you actually think people are willing to pay to watch this turd slowly roast? I'm sure his friends and family are wondering, well, what about Jim Acosta? Oh, James. According to CNN, Jamie has been promoted to the late shift. Well, that is amazing. Our James has been promoted to prime time. This is great. Hold that celebration, Sparky. Jim Acosta was not promoted to prime time. He was demoted to working the late shift. And when I say late shift, I'm talking about midnights, which means James will go from hosting a show in the morning that no one is watching to hosting a show at midnight when his potential audience of lonely men are consuming content on Lonely Mans. As I was prepping this video, the New York Post reported that Jim Acosta is threatening to quit CNN over this demotion. You know, you don't have to make threats, James. You don't have to announce your departure. Just leave. I promise you, no one will notice. Naturally, morale at CNN, all-time low. People are worried about their jobs. They're worried about the future of the network, and they've got every reason to be worried. Seems like no one can figure out how to monetize this turd when all they had to do was listen to Uncle KC. I told you years ago, eradicate the woke fungus. The fungus is designed to destroy. And if you don't believe me, just look at CNN. Look at MSNBC. Problem though for CNN, it might be too late. The culture at this network, it is broken. The credibility has been eliminated. No one trusts CNN, not the people working there, and damn sure not the audience. And what is their plan to prevent the Titanic from sinking? Doing the exact same thing they've done before. Give me your thoughts on this. CNN announces another layoff, letting go of approximately 200 people. Mark Thompson is claiming that these jobs will be replaced because he's going to be hiring people for their new streaming service. But once that ends in huge embarrassing failure, I imagine CNN will go through another round of layoffs. What is the solution? Or is it too late for CNN to implement a solution? Is the network irreparably damaged? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys later.